Good morning, Skate fam. This is your boy DJ R. Cole.
And I am the queen, and you're tuned into Boss Talk.
So this morning we typically go into the news about
Mhm.
what's going on in the skate world, but we actually are
Mhm.
doing a live interview this morning. So with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So this man here, I actually had the pleasure of meeting him. I don't know if he remembers, but I had the
Yes.
pleasure of meeting him at Legends in the Sky.
Yeah.
That was my first time meeting him. Of course, I've always heard about him.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think
he
a
is
lot of people have because he's so dynamic.
very, very dynamic, very dynamic. And let me tell you something: this man can move on some skates. He can move, and I just hope that I'm able to be able to move just like him. I mean, he got style, he got grace. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and let him introduce himself. Go ahead, my man.
No, I'm gonna let y'all do the honors, man. I'm humble just to be on the show. I'll let you do the honors. I'll let you and the queen do the honors, brother. I'm too humble for that.
All right, y'all. So we'll do the honors. And so we have on the line right now, we have my man Ice from Philly is in the building. We are on the East Coast today. So how you doing, man? You
Oh.
good?
I'm holding on, brother. I'm holding on, man. Like I said, it's honor just to be on your show and just to conduct this interview
Mhm.
and just thank God that I came on your radar. I appreciate it. I really do.
I'm glad you came on our radar.
Yeah, the
I'm
honor is
definitely
all
yes,
ours. I
definitely,
mean, that's why
definitely.
we're here to bring people with your caliber, of your grace, so that others who may not have seen you out and about, they'll know about you and they'll look at your style and your grace and the way that you skate and just the magical moves that you have. So
Yeah.
we're
So
honored.
so we're gonna start with how long have you been skating?
57 years.
So you are definitely an OG in
Definitely,
the game. Do you remember
definitely.
how old you were when you first started?
I started when I was two. On a professional level, I think you could say about maybe 30 years as
30
far
Okay.
years.
as the entertainment value of it. But
Hmm.
all together, um, I was 57, started at the age of two.
Age two. Wow.
Wow. So was it through your parents or how did you begin skating?
Actually, my brother um, worked at a little skating ring. It was like a Catholic school cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And it used to take me down there. It wasn't, it's real small, real small, but
Mhm.
everybody went there. So, during the early morning sessions on Sunday, he would just take me and I guess to get me out of the way.
Now, does your
Oh.
brother still skate?
My brother's deceased. He passed
Oh.
Okay.
about 5 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and
Condolences.
did a real good job. I mean, he did a real good job and, gave me some great information as I started getting older.
Mhm.
Um, and as far as directions, as far as skating overall and going to different places and
Mhm.
experience things.
So would you say that your brother was your inspiration?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Mhm.
From the start, but as far as like you know, modern day, I mean, he got me started,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna always pay homage to my brother. But there's a litany of people across this country that if
Mm.
I just named the names of these people, the interview would probably take 3 hours because they meant that.
So they
They
know they're
meant
out there.
they. I mean, they have meant so much to me.
Mm.
When when I was doing a lot of extensive traveling, I made it my business to, talk with the elders and just get some insight and things of that nature. So, there was a lot of them.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll throw a few names out, but there's a lot of them. I mean, from the Scooby Brothers in California to Mr. Charles, Bill Butler, Charles Haywood, Um, I mean, the list could just go on and on and on. But they all have factored in what I do.
Hmm.
As far as skating.
Yeah, yeah. Now I know one question that I have because you be moving.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
be moving, and as I mentioned before, I just hope that once I hit that, been skating for a 50-year mark, that I can say do some of the moves that you've been doing. So how do you keep yourself in shape? Because you move better than a lot of the younger people I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, and some younger guys that I help mentor and give direction to, they kind of witnessed this. I've actually had 4 ACL surgeries,
Oh wow.
Wow.
Mm,
two on each knee,
mm,
and people, I tell people they don't believe it, and just recently, just a little bit of a hip problem, but just starting off in dance, martial arts, and things of that nature, and you know, just trying to be healthy,
mhm.
and I'm just constantly moving, even this everyday stuff. For some reason, I can't be still. Maybe I got ADHD or something like that there, but but this constantly
Mhm.
attributed to dance and probably martial arts, more
Mm.
so dance.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
learning various styles
Mhm.
from tap to ballet and things
Oh
of that
wow.
nature.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's a
Yes.
fun fact.
Yeah.
He's a tap dancer.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
As styles change. Different styles across the country.
Yeah.
So actually, in the midst of me dancing and skating, I was like, all right, well, let me do a little bit of this breaking, the skating that I'm doing, and then a
Hmm.
little bit of tap, and then some guys that I was with years ago, we was experiment with a lot of stuff. With
Hmm.
a lot of stuff. It's like as far as the breaking part of it,
Mhm.
heck, we were doing break moves before break skate was even out.
Mm.
Wow.
We talking about 79,
Mhm. Yeah.
79, somewhere around that time. So
And I can
we
actually.
75.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I can actually see some of that in the way that you skate. Some of those moves and everything
Hmm.
that you incorporate.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
there was a picture of you jumping in the air and doing the splits.
Yes.
So, when was that picture? When was that?
ah, that was in. I don't know
You
if
had,
That's
that's
the
my
one you had
logo.
the yellow shirt on.
yeah, yeah,
All
yellow.
right, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
Is
you
the
were way in
one
the
me doing?
air.
Do I have is my name underneath it?
No.
No, no. You have on like a yellow do rag and a yellow shirt.
Oh, I don't. I have to see it. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I had to see it because I know I had one that's my logo and it has my name underneath of it. And I
Hmm.
think I'm about to do a
Okay.
nutcracker.
Okay.
Well, I was asking because it
But
seemed like that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
That
okay.
it was taken probably like in the recent years. So if you've been skating for 50 years and if you can still do that, then
Hey, we
look,
bowing down.
yeah,
We bowing down.
yes, most definitely, most
I can
definitely,
still do a little bit of it. I got a little
Okay.
bit.
yeah.
You know how you get older, you be like to say, oh, I can do that. That you don't know
Right.
what you're doing. And then a couple of days later, I'm sitting in the tub and
Mhm.
going over your head. And I did it.
Wow. See, and you're vertical too, and I mean,
Yeah.
even in my younger days, I couldn't even do the splits.
Yeah.
I'd be yeah. So
So with your dancing and with your martial arts, was it kind of like a gradual progression that you start marrying the two on your skates?
um, yeah. I mean, when you're in your teens and your early 20s, and I mean, you have so much energy. So as I said, I was just all over the place, even with playing ball,
Mm-hmm.
playing basketball. So it was just it just germinated. I mean, coming up, during the '70s and '80s, we wasn't house babies. We went outside.
Mm-hmm.
Parents were
Right.
like, get out
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
house, go do something. So
Yeah.
we riding bikes, playing football, playing basketball, skating up the street with one skate on. You name it.
Hey.
We doing
Hey.
something till the lights went out.
I think everybody tried that one skate. We just have the one skate on. You just skate up and down. Try to see. If you, I know I've
Messing up
done
a
it.
whole shoe.
Yeah. I think we've all done
Boy, what's
that.
wrong with your shoes?
Oh man. So.
But
Mhm.
but just marinating all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just marinating all of it. We would if we would have shows at different places,
Hmm.
and we would go play ball. About an hour before before the show we had and everything like that there, and
Mm-mm.
still had that energy.
Hmm.
So like I said, we talking late teens, early 20s, even in our 30s, we were just real active.
Wow.
I can recall one particular time we had 4 shows in one day.
Mm.
So
Wow.
we were doing a Special Olympics, then we did a parade, then we did a block party, then we had to drive all the way up New York and do a show up there. And then it was funny, it was a long day from like 6 o'clock in the morning
Hmm.
to 6 the next morning.
Mm.
So we're driving back. Well, I'm driving back because everybody else is tired.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how I did it. So I
That
mean,
ADHD.
the energy, just the energy
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
age is phenomenal.
Mm.
So with the background in the various parts of dance, as far as jazz, tap, ballet,
Mhm.
and even break, you get that energy, and it's like you just want to keep grabbing for
Mhm.
you know that 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 ultimate that ultimate high, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just said you guys used to travel around. Were you part of a group? And if so, what was the group's name?
The group was named Philadelphia Wizards on Wheels.
Okay.
Actually, um, long story short, short story shorter, I'm from the South Philadelphia section of the city, and back then it was various rinks. And little crew from South Philly, we would just go to rinks, not performing anything like that. There, just having fun. We went to this uh, all night skating party. Now it wasn't an all night skating party. The
Mhm.
session was about to end. It was a half hour left, and these guys, the Wizards, came from North Philly. It had to been about 10 of them.
They
Came in the
was
ring,
deep.
half hour left to the session,
Mhm.
and they put on an entire show. The entire skate ring stopped because I had never seen that like it. I mean,
Yeah.
being that I was doing things, on skates, I mean, these guys just blew me away.
Mm.
Wow.
And they had been doing various shows around, the tri-state area, talking about Philadelphia, Delaware, Jersey, and New York.
Mhm.
And as the years progressed, they dropped off, living living life, getting married, getting jobs and things of that
Mhm.
nature. So around 80, 82, they started around about 70, 75, 77, somewhere in that era. And around about 80, 82, kind of like disbanded.
Mm.
Basically, I went to a talent show with a friend of mine, Caucasian girl, and went to this talent show, all black talent show. And I come in there, and first thing I see is all these looks. Get on the stage, we kill it, we kill it.
Mhm.
So, me being the person that I am, it's like I want to share the wealth.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the not about me show. So I knew these guys, some of these other guys from other ranks. And I'm like, if I'm getting this notoriety, I need to bring some people in on this.
Mm.
And around 85, 86, pulled these guys together from various ranks
Mhm.
and, two original members. And we performed from, I say, 85, 86, all the way to 2005.
Wow.
Wow.
14, I believe.
Wow.
Mm. That's a long time because
Yeah.
yeah, some groups
Yeah.
don't last that long. So you guys
Yeah.
actually been lasting for a long time.
That's family.
Well, I stepped away from them a couple times,
Yeah.
Okay.
and of course,
Mm.
I stepped away from them a couple times. And the turmoil, arguments, things of that nature. But I know where the foundation is,
Mm.
and I love each and every one of them to this day. But
Mhm.
like I said, I know where the foundation is. So
Right.
even when I wasn't with the group and they needed help, um, God rest her soul, Linda would
Mm.
call me all the time. Hey, what you doing, man? I like nothing. She's like, why don't you come on back? I like, Linda, I just don't feel like dealing with it anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and I would come back, do things with him and things of that nature.
Mm.
But we always had, understanding. And when the two of the members had passed away a week apart,
Mm.
um, the group kind of fell apart because
Mm.
it drained us. It really
Yeah.
did. It drained us. This
Yeah.
was around 2010. It drained me to the point where I disappeared for almost 2 years.
Mm.
I just
Mm.
got with my agent, went out the Midwest, and I just didn't feel it anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, I still skated and I still performed because I
Mm.
had an agent. But I just didn't. I just felt naked.
Mm.
To be
Mm.
honest,
Mm.
I just
Okay.
felt naked.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a hurt piece at the time.
Yeah.
It's a hurt
Mm.
piece. It's something
Mm.
that I really, it really did a number on me at the time because
Mm.
not only losing two members a week apart, I
Mm.
also was losing a lot of people in the community. I think the
Mm.
year and a half, I lost about 31 people. So it did
Wow.
a
Wow.
number.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
It
Mm.
did a number on me.
Yeah.
So perform with them, those years, doing a lot of various things, across the country, and just an experience. I
Mm.
mean, just a total experience. I can't even put it into words right now. Just the people that we've met, the stars. We would never. The thing about us, we were never stargazers.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, there's Spike Lee. Hey, Spike, how you doing? How's
Yeah.
everything?
Mm.
Yeah.
And there's so and so. I mean, we take the pictures and things of that nature because when we walked into a place, even though there was other people on the bill, we was like, we're gonna shut this thing down.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Were they looking at you guys like, what are these dudes on skates?
Oh, we always got that look. We
Okay.
we always got that look. I mean,
Like, what are we
we would
doing
go
here?
we would go in nightclubs. I mean, go in nightclubs. This what I
Yeah.
skates on. Like, hey, what are you guys doing? And then y'all be looking at me. Me and Lisa at one point. We in the club. I'm picking up, throwing around, and things of that nature. And they like, okay, they pretty good. They not messing up our floor, so go ahead. So I
Mm.
mean, we running the
Yeah.
club and uh, cabarets. And oh man,
Wow.
God,
Oh.
yeah, we we did.
Y'all
I
did a
gotta tell you
lot.
this.
Yeah. I did a lot.
I gotta tell you this one. This oh my goodness. We were practicing and it was at a dance hall. We were practicing and one of the members was like, okay, let's do our solos and see how this works out.
Hmm.
So everybody doing these solos. So Shorty goes, all right, baby boy, let's see your solo. Like, don't worry about my solo. I got it. Don't worry about it. He said, well, I got to see your solo. I don't want you to do a flip and knock somebody potato salad out there.
Yeah, you know?
So this a number of experiences. I mean, like the show we had to do, show we had to do in 4 days. We had to take the subway to go to the parade. These
Mm.
guys is on the subway, just skating on the subway.
Wow.
I got pictures of Tech skating on the subway.
Wow.
Wow.
Just
You know what's funny though, as us as skaters, we will skate anywhere. If there
Yeah.
is a surface that our wheels can roll on, we gonna do it. Even if
Yeah.
we're not sure, we may
definitely.
even try it anyways.
Yeah.
You know.
We had a we had a performance at the Javits Center.
Hmm.
Um, Went there, looked the place over, looked at the stage. I was like, this ain't gonna be good. This is carpet.
Oh.
Show don't stop for us. Show don't stop for
Okay.
us. We tore it up. We tore it up,
Mm.
even on carpet.
Do you have to change your wheels?
No,
Okay.
no. Some of it's like for outside performances.
Right.
Some of us did. A lot of us didn't because we just constantly traveling on various shows. So
Mhm.
it was like we might get a chance to change our wheels. Some of us did. Some of us didn't.
Mm.
How did you get the name Ice?
Actually, playing high school basketball.
Oh, okay.
They
You was just that cold.
I know I was. You know, they kept comparing me to George Gervin,
Okay.
and 'cause I was just shooting all the time, just
Yeah.
shooting. Finger roll. You know the old commercial, finger roll, and it just stuck. It just
Mm.
stuck from high school, and then it stuck with skating.
Mhm. Mhm. So
Cool.
tell us about your outfits because you wear
Yeah.
various outfits. Now
Yeah.
at Legends in the Sky, you was fly.
Well,
You
yeah, of
was
course.
fly. I
You know,
mean,
he was the commercial for Legends.
you
What?
know, yeah, that
What?
is. You know what?
What?
That is right. You
Yeah.
actually were in that
He
commercial,
tested the floor out
and
for
it
us.
was really dope. That was a really dope commercial.
um, I gotta attribute that to it goes back to the dance background.
Mm-hmm.
Before, and then I'll say with this with conviction, before, I'll get in some trouble for saying this. Before break really came out,
Mhm.
we in Philly, we was doing steps, and
Okay.
we was wearing tap shoes with it. So we was watching the old movies of Fred Astaire and Nicholas Brothers and the Barry Brothers, and we just got clean. We put on suits, and we tapping and everything like that there in people houses in their basement, and they were like, what are these guys doing? So it was the style element. Now,
Mm.
years after, my buddy Wayne Grimes, Shorty, he's a tailor.
Mm-hmm.
So he started making, our outfits, for our shows. So
Mm.
as time progressed, me not being with the group, a whole lot, just doing a lot of traveling, I just started wearing wearing sweatshirts, wearing,
Mm-hmm.
just regular event shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I go to events, take the shirt, put it on, put a, scarf on my head, and just go.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, and I started getting older. In certain events, I just throw the tuck on. I like, let me put this tuck on, and I went. I was in St. Louis, and I had the tuck on, and everybody looking at me, and my buddy player Mike was like, Ice, what is you doing? I said, what? He said, you got a rabbit in that hat.
Oh man.
I had a top hat on, I had a cane and everything, and I'm flying around the rink, and people looking at me like I'm some kind of nut. But hey, where's this dude going with this white suit on? So I guess it just stuck after the years, and then certain events I would put it on, and just adding to what we do.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to wear t-shirts all the time,
Yeah.
Right.
and things of that nature. We could put on a suit and things of that nature. We come from that.
Yeah.
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 Years ago.
Mhm.
Our people did that in the 50s. They would go to skating events. They be clean.
It's a
I,
good
I
look
remember
though.
going to Detroit, man.
Yeah.
Detroit is notorious for that back then.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. It's a real
being
good look.
clean.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So now, speaking of traveling and everything like that, so from where you started off to where it is now, um, what do you see the changes in the events?
Well, I actually said this, 10 years ago, just looking at the landscape, and
Mm.
I'm gonna get beat up for it, and I gotta just tell the truth about it. Um, the events were growing and growing,
Hmm.
and it became more about the money instead of the people,
Hmm.
and then some of the wrong elements was coming into our world,
Hmm.
and events was allowing it, you know, all for the sake of money.
Hmm.
Right.
Um, and then, I'm looking at the entire landscape of this thing, not only in our community,
Hmm.
but the break community, the artistic community. and I was viewing how Great Skate was making that move,
Hmm.
and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? They're getting all the accolades, but we put in all the work.
Mm.
Mm.
So on the jealousy thing, I mean, I applaud them. I really applaud them,
Yeah.
and as you can see, I give credit where credit is due.
Hmm.
You know, they open up some gates for people on our side. Um, the events are nice. I love the events,
Hmm.
but I always envisioned this being an overseas type thing.
Hmm.
If you go back in our history in entertainment, from all our greats, they have more of a respect and a more of appreciation for what we do. To
Yeah.
the fact that, you know, I went to London one time and had a show over there. They actually wanted me to stay there for 6 months just to teach them.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
Wow.
that appeal is over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish our people would understand this part of it. The
Hmm.
appeal is over there.
Yeah.
They love everything we do. Look at the hip hop community.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
you know, the hip hop community, um, they get this thing right. I mean, it's $1 billion industry.
Hmm.
You talking about, you know, they trying to put break dancing in the Olympics. What does it tell you?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, so the events, you know, they're becoming
Yeah.
abundant. You know, people trying to choose now, where do I go, where do I
Hmm.
go, where do I go?
Hmm.
You got
Hmm.
loyalists,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that want to stay to the events that have been flourishing for, you know, 15, 20 years.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with that. Believe
Yeah.
me, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I traveled to all of them myself.
Hmm.
But there's also growth. You
Hmm.
got a lot of young people that, you know, want to climb into that
Hmm.
and, you know, wants that recognition. And there's nothing wrong with it. But um, I guess, hmm, I guess the respect factor
Yeah.
and things of that nature, it could all be done. You know, you know, the young people, and that's kind of our fault. Some of the elders, I
Hmm.
mean, just not sitting down talking to them, give them some directions and things of
Hmm.
that nature.
Yeah.
So if you know, this the conversation needs to be had. You know,
Right.
I
Right.
Yeah.
I
And you
I
know.
would I would love to see this a summit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
we could all just sit down and just talk about ideas
Right.
and how to push this thing, you know,
Mm.
To the
to
next level.
extreme
Yeah.
levels
Yeah.
because it can be done. It
Right.
really can be done,
Right.
but we have to get some. We have to filter out some of the nonsense
And
that
we
we
actually
we
saw
back.
that with Legends in the Sky. You know,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
something that was totally different. It was
Hmm.
more on a grown level.
Hmm.
And I'm going to backtrack for a second here because what you
Okay.
said it earlier about the the way they view us overseas is very true because we actually had Mark Mead here not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and he's from London, and those are some of the things that he spoke about.
Right.
But a lot of things, I could even say on some of the music that I play, the neo soul music,
Hmm.
a majority of it
Hmm.
is actually coming from overseas. You don't get that neo soul as much over here in the States as you do overseas, you know. And so that kind of tells you the direction that things are going. And then I also want to tap into what you're saying, in regards to recognition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
because I think for the skate community, the biggest drug is attention.
Attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
There's
It's like
no longer the love
right.
for
It's not so much about, man, I love doing this.
yeah.
This is what I love to do. You still get it. Not saying that it's not there
Yeah.
because it is there.
Mm-hmm.
However, the attention, wanting the notoriety, wanting to
Hmm.
be known in the skate community, that is the biggest drug because it infects everything that
Hmm.
is happening in the
Hmm.
skate community. Because now you have, you know, these people not liking these people over here, these not liking these over here, these people not want to fool with them because they may have a little
Yeah.
bit more notoriety and they want to get to their level. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, especially, with skate parties.
definitely.
Some do it for the wrong reason. I've seen a change in it,
Hmm.
and just like you, I'm probably going to get some backlash for saying this too. But hey, this is Boss Talk. This is Gators
Yeah.
Connect. These are the things that need to be talked
Yeah.
about because, like you said, the younger generation, they need to understand this. You know, um, in order to keep
Well,
skating pure, don't
mhm.
forget why you're doing it. You know,
Well,
don't forget
that's a
it's for the
twofold.
culture.
That
Hmm.
that's a twofold. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. Let me let you finish. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's a twofold.
Hmm.
Now, you think back to when. Now, I think back to when I was coming, coming into this,
Hmm.
wanting to be seen, wanting to be known, and things of that nature. Along that way, I talked to the older people. I talk to the older people. I still do that to this day.
Hmm.
To this day, I talk with my elders.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even with some of the moves that I make, I have to talk to my elders.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Not to get permission, but just get a greater understanding. To really get a greater understanding. And I think, the people from my generation, and I already know I'm gonna get beat up with this, but I really don't care. I mean, I give it to you raw. It's like we didn't reach back. We
Hmm.
didn't reach back.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Some of us didn't reach back.
Yeah.
We didn't reach back and go like this here. Listen, X, Y, and Z, and this, that, and the other. And I'll go on record. Um, Back in, I think it was 2007,
Hmm.
in Atlanta at Skateathon, and I was standing at the counter, talking with D Breeze. I'll never forget it. D Breeze and Reggie Gunn,
Hmm.
and we were just talking about the climate, and this coming together and things of that nature. My thing is, um, if I want to eat, I want everybody else to eat.
Hmm.
So I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna try and pull you, and let you do you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And this whatever whatever talent that you got to add is just a plus.
Hmm.
It's just a plus. And we were standing there talking for about half an hour. And little did you know, almost every 10, 15 minutes, other skaters was coming around.
Hmm.
So by the time we got finished, it had to have been at least 40 skaters. We was just sitting there talking about the art,
Hmm.
just talking about it, just talking about where it can go in this there and for. And back then, we talking some of the top elite skaters in the country.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, the cream of the crop,
Hmm.
from Detroit, New York, Virginia, Ohio, California, and things of that nature. So we made a pact to meet every skateathon, every rolling in Carolina. We did that for about 10 years.
Hmm.
You know, Gave each other awards and things of that nature.
Hmm.
I got some real pushback, uh, where it was just the guys. We just pulled the guys.
Hmm.
And Sister Shea Butter came up to me in New York. She like, so Ice, hey Shay, how you doing? She's like, hey, you having a meeting with these guys? Why you ain't got no sisters?
Well spoken sister.
So she put me on the spot. So
Yeah.
then, it gravitate to, us contacting other people like Chicago Wanted,
Mhm.
sisters from there, um, Janice Dean, um, Teasy, a few other people. I can't
Mhm.
remember all of them.
Mhm.
So, we had those meetings and we would just have discussions. We would just have discussions. So that's the part about giving back, and that
Yeah,
Mhm.
entire group of us stayed humble
that's good.
because we
Mhm.
we knew, I wouldn't even say our place, but we knew,
Mhm.
it was about the love,
Yeah.
and then we knew that the tension was there, but it didn't bother us. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
We knew the tension
Mhm.
was there,
Yeah.
it didn't bother us, and
Yeah.
then that infused. I'll just throw some names out there. The trendsetters,
Mhm.
they were brought along because they was young.
Mhm.
The Osos.
Mhm.
I really got to give it to Mahad Turner from New York.
Mhm.
Mo has done a lot for this, and he doesn't get the accolades he deserves. And please make sure you try and interview him. Please,
Okay.
Yes.
please. That's a
Yeah.
definite. But
Mhm.
young guys like that, and then older guys, such as me and Breeze and a few other people,
Mhm.
and we just kept just pulling people. Josh Smith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
just kept pulling these
Yeah.
guys and just having conversation. We can't really blame them if we're not having conversation.
Right. That's
When
true.
Mhm.
we're not having
Yeah. Mhm.
conversation with them, we can't blame them
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's like I'm going to go get mine. I don't care about nobody else. F
Mhm.
this,
Right.
F that, F this, F
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And nobody's giving them no direction. So that's part of
Mhm.
our fault. That's
Yeah.
part of our fault that they got that attitude. And I'm gonna get some backlash, but I don't care.
Mhm.
The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
One thing you said was that you would like to have a summit and like to bring everybody together to get us back on track as a culture. What would be the main thing that you would want to impart on those who attend that summit to take away from that so that we could go back out and our communities can be better?
Just the love of it.
Mhm.
Just the love of it, and this embracing other people. It's like you're not the only one on this planet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what some of these people think.
Mhm.
I've been blessed to meet thousands and thousands of people from coast to coast to around the world,
Mhm.
and that's because you gotta give respect to get it.
Yeah.
You
Yes, you
know,
do.
you have to have conversation with people. You can't always look at somebody, he ain't this, he ain't that,
Mhm.
and I remember I had a discussion with Mahaja one time about that. He like, man, I'm going to the ranks. And of course, Mahaja, he was a principal in a major movie and
Mhm.
people was coming at him. And I
Right.
had a conversation with him and he just changed the whole dynamic. Even with the group, I seen it. I mean, I see it was like almost overnight.
Right.
Be like, yeah, I'm not, and I'm gonna be sarcastic about it. I said, Mo, you don't have anything to prove to any of these skaters out here. Like,
Mhm.
dude, you was a principal in a major movie. None of them can say that.
Right.
Mhm.
And the thing about it is to remain humble about it. You ain't got to talk about all that.
Mhm.
They see it. It's a number of things that I've done that I haven't even revealed to people. That will have no idea. They will have no idea. I'll pull it out. They'll be like, "Oh, really?"
All
But
right.
it's
Well, give
not
us a
about
little
me.
nugget.
I say it again. I
Tell
hear
us
you.
a little nugget. Tell us one of those things people wouldn't know. Just one.
All right. Um, the Rocky movie. Nobody knew I was in that.
Mm.
Actually, two of them, three of them.
Okay.
I think it was five. I don't know. He had so
Now
many.
you're gonna
Maybe
make
it's
us go
50.
back and look
I
at the
don't.
movie. What part
You
we
know.
need to be looking for?
Nah, you know what? Of course, when you're doing stuff in the film industry,
Yeah.
they spin on it, take you in, take you out.
Right.
So it was one of the movies we was at the top of the steps in the art museum, and it's at the very end. Me and two, three other group members, we just spin around at the top of the steps. We're not doing anything heavy.
Mhm.
Okay.
We did some other things, but of course they cut it out.
Oh,
And then
okay.
there's Creed. They made Creed around the corner from my house.
Oh
So
wow.
I
Wow.
did, being that I was in SAG and after, they always look for extras.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, I got a call. Oh yeah, I'll go around there. So it's right around the corner from
Mhm.
the neighborhood. So, I mean, that was cool.
Yeah.
And it's up, the very first thing that I did, um, was a made for TV movie called Lufa's Choice. This was back in 80, 85, something like that
Okay.
year. And they had a skating rink scene. And a couple of members of the group went down there. Some of us had to work. I think it was all three or four of us. So of course, they did what they did and they cut it out. So, and this is how I got within that acting realm. I went down there every day just to get a part. I'm like, hey man, give me
Mhm.
another part. Man, get out of here. We already did space. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm down there every day bugging this producer. He's like, yo,
Consistency.
man. He's like, yo, you're not doing it. So finally, he
No.
just gave me this scene as a rival gang member.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that man, movies is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I can
Oh my
imagine.
Mhm.
God, it is
Yeah.
so much work. I
Mhm.
mean, we did a 4 second, no, maybe a 10-second scene, and we filmed it for like 2 days.
Wow.
No.
I'm like, are
Wow.
you kidding me? Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they had to get because I had got shot in the leg, so they had
Mhm.
to do the special effects. They had to
Hmm.
Right.
do angles
Hmm.
and booms, and I was like, wow. So you know, you got to give them these experiences. You got to get the youth these experiences so they'll know how to filter through the nonsense that's going to come. There's going to
Hmm.
be a
Right.
lot of
Hmm.
Right.
nonsense coming
Yeah.
within this. So, I mean, just having the discussions, a lot of them not want to hear it because they still want to gravitate to that, you know, exceptional heights. Where you going to go, I don't know,
Hmm.
because at some point it's going to be an end game. You're going to get old, and then they're
Mhm.
looking at the next person.
Right.
Yeah.
So we just
Yeah.
gotta, we have to, we have to, just bridge that gap the best way we can. I mean, as far as like a summit or a conference or something like that, there. I mean, I would love that. Just sometimes you just gotta listen to the other person. Just listen to what they got to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Just listen.
Mhm.
Just listen and just come up with some solutions.
Mhm.
Um, Even with the generation before me, I mean, I listen to them too. I listen to a lot of what they have to say. That's man, I don't go anymore. It's per se these young people disrespectful and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's just like we got kids.
Mhm.
Some of our kids have to be taught. So if you're not outgoing as far as that part of it, you're gonna have these problems.
Yeah.
And then you got to factor in the Hollywood part of it too.
Mhm.
Attention is a major drug right now.
Yes, it
It
is.
is a
Yes.
major,
Yeah.
major
Mhm.
drug. If you just look on social media, I sit back sometimes, I just laugh. I
Mhm.
just
You
laugh. It's
you
like,
laugh and respond because I see you
oh
very.
my God.
You're
And,
very
you know,
vocal on
You
Facebook.
are very vocal.
you
Look.
know what? I gotta I
Uh,
told you this the other day. I
yeah.
just put stuff out there just to see the reaction. I I,
Right.
I mean, it's like some stuff out there to think, some things out there to have people think, and this to make you do some research and stuff like that. There, some stuff is for a reaction, and I
Mhm.
just laugh. I
Right.
just
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not that deep. It's just really not that
Yeah. It's
deep.
social
Ordinarily,
media.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But some of your
that
stuff
that
is very introspective, makes you really, really think. You make some very, very thoughtful posts. It's like you're almost like you're doing like what do you call the activists? And I think about like some of the people who inspire you, and I just look at some of those people that you said that have inspired you, and I can see their voice in some of your writings. Like you have Hannibal Barca, Paul Robeson, Arthur Ashe, Cornell West, or some of the people who inspire you. And if you listen or read some of your posts, you can be like, oh, okay, yep, I see that. But
well, well, like I said again, I mean, I'm in a lot of famous people. I'm not. You got to excuse the language. I'm not an attention whore.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I met a lot of people. I sat and talked with them. I've gotten
Mm,
books from them and things like that. Yeah, I don't need to put their pictures up. I
right.
don't need to do that. For what?
Mhm.
What? Oh man. Oh, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
Me and you sitting here talking. I mean, we're not with them.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can give you the experience, and that's it. I mean, it reminds me. I don't know if it was Kareem or Bill Russell, and somebody asked them for an autograph, and they refused.
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, that was kind of ignorant. And
Mm,
he just explained, he's like, wouldn't a conversation last longer than an autograph? I'm
hmm
Yeah.
like, wow, that's deep.
A
Yeah.
piece of
That
paper
is
that you
really
will not know where it is in
Mhm.
a year from
right.
now.
And so I just looked at that. I said that's real deep. As you mentioned activists is like I'm up here back up
Hmm.
here in Philly, and there's a lot of stuff going on as far as violence.
Yeah.
So I'm out in the streets too. So I just don't talk the talk. I walk the walk. It's
Mhm.
like I live in this neighborhood. I live in this city. I'm back in the city,
Hmm.
and I just see it. And a lot of us like it's going to touch. It's going to touch all of us at some point. It's like
Mhm.
this virus. It's touching somebody.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are you going to sit back and just go, well, this, that, and the other, or are you going to do something? So I didn't want to put that stuff out, but then I had to get the attention of some of the other people, not within my skating community, but just within,
Mhm.
the area overall that can actually help as far as activists in just dealing with some of this violence. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of reading, inspired by a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of the people that really inspired me was Maurice Hines. He did a one man show,
Uh-huh.
and I went to it, and I was sitting there talking with him, and one of the guys that was in I guess in his production, he recognized me from skating,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Well, come here for a minute." I'm like, I just went down there for the dance, because he put on a one man show. I'm like, wow. So like, oh, you the guy that tap dance on the skates, right?
Mhm.
I said, whoa, how you do that? He said, oh man, we be watching. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
And some of these stars be watching too.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
Mhm.
it was a connection with him, connection with Paul Taylor. Did something in, I think it was Florida.
Mhm.
And just those connections that I just don't even speak about.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I'm learning now that I need to some of the young people so they can understand,
Right.
you know. So I'm starting to learn that instead of hoarding all this stuff, like starting to let some people know. So like I
Mhm.
said, this meant a lot of people, but I don't need to put it on Facebook. I don't need to put it on YouTube or anything like that. There, I mean, years ago, my agent was like, "Man, you need to put this out." No, I
Mhm.
don't. For what? For what? For what? I try to, even though I get on a, you get on the skate floor, you garner that attention, but all of us, as we in our element in a skating ring, it's like almost nobody there.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like nobody there. You in your zone.
Mhm.
You in your zone, and I try to look at it like that. I remember when I was going through my little stuff, after those deaths back in 10 to 12, I went out to Oklahoma. I said, I'll go out here. Don't nobody know. So I got a full beard. I got a full beard. I got all black. I'm just in this skating ring. I'm just rolling around. And this guy just kept going by me. And I was skating backwards and he got in front of me. He kept looking. And then he said, Ice. And I was like, damn. He like, I thought that was you. So he runs over to the
I can't
DJ.
go
DJ
nowhere.
stops the music. I'm like, come on, man. But it's humbling.
Mhm.
And I said, and then I recognized that I needed to engage this guy, not just be like this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. So I sat and
Yeah.
talked with him and things of that
Mhm.
nature. We need to talk with him too.
Yeah.
We need to talk with him. It's a number of skaters that I know are just so humble that you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
You just
Mhm.
wouldn't know it.
Right.
And I've sat and talked with a lot of them, and that's the whole key, the
Yeah.
communication part of it.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not going to know any of this stuff if you don't sit and talk with them and get them
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
direction. Um,
That's actually
I'll throw
a
I'll
good.
throw two names out there just
Mhm.
for the heck of it, and D Breeze is my man.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had him
the
on here. Mhm.
direction, yeah, the direction that he's given to Pooh and mainly Jeremy. Man, I mean, you would have to. I would have to let Breeze and Jeremy tell you that story
Mhm. Okay.
because believe
Yeah.
me, it's just you wouldn't believe it. And for me, witnessing Breeze from 2005 up to now, and
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
witnessing Jeremy.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, just a total transformation.
Yeah.
And even like now, it's just being humble enough to mention to other people because it's not
Yeah.
about me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm,
Right.
I'm, I'm in I'm in Florida. I'm doing something with Nazem, and the lady's interviewing me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I came to help my man.
Right.
He
Mhm.
he the star. Don't focus on me. And
Mhm.
type of person I am.
Mhm.
I'm not. I don't need all that. And then some people, you have to tell them that. You have to say you don't need all that. Sometimes it comes to you. It's like even now, y'all interviewing me, I didn't thrust this upon myself. I mean,
Nope, I came and
I
found
if
you.
you, but but the thing about it is that sometimes you don't need to be the star. Sometimes to be the star,
Right.
people
And I
see you.
think once you understand that, you make a bigger impact
Right.
on
Yeah,
people.
because people are always watching. They're
Right.
constantly watching.
They
You
do
know, you don't
watch.
think they
Yeah.
are. They're
Yeah.
constantly watching. I was enrolled in Carolinas one time, and guys from Philly, they went out on somebody else's roll call. Now I already got berated for being went out on people's roll call. One year I had shirts from every state in the country. I went out on every roll call. Like, yo, Ice, what you doing? Then, somebody, an elder came to me like, yo, that's not right. That's not
Mhm.
right. So I had to tone it down. So years later, I toned it down. Guys from Philly's about to get on the floor. And I'm like, yo, fellas, come on, don't do that. Don't do that.
Mhm.
Not, but unbeknownst to me, I had an elder from Baltimore and two from New York. And they pulled me. I was skating by and they grabbed me like, we seen what you did. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So somebody always watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody always
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah. Now earlier you had mentioned something in regards to sitting down and getting to know the other skaters, and I think that's also a big important part of it too, is that we don't spend enough time getting to know our fellow skaters.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we'll just come to the rink and do our thing, go home, or we'll go to the rink and we'll socialize
Mhm.
with certain people. But you can learn a lot just by sitting down, especially with some of the older skaters. You
Mhm.
can learn a lot and get a lot
Definitely.
of knowledge just by sitting down and just having the simple 5 to 10 minute conversation.
But
Because sometimes those little 5 10 minute conversations can change your life, and you
Yeah.
just don't know it.
definitely.
Because you can't judge a book by its cover. Because on your Facebook, as you, after you were saying, people think you're always angry,
Yeah.
you know, but that's not the case. You're just,
You're just a
speaking
prolific thinker.
right. Um, so yeah, I think that's a good point to, definitely just sit down, talk to others, especially the experienced skaters, you know, get their input, um, so forth. But on the flip side of it, you have to be one of those people that want to do it as
Yeah.
well.
You
So
have to be.
yeah, yeah. So
Well, the other part of that is, the youth have a voice.
hmm
They
Mhm.
have a voice,
yes, they do.
Mhm.
Hmm.
and you gotta be you have to have an ear to listen to them too.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're not always right.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
always right, and things are ever changing.
Hmm.
So you have to give them that platform to express themselves and come to a medium where it can all coincide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see a lot of the young guys. Um, it might be a point where you'll see them on the floor. Like I said, the elders pulled me, in Carolina. Like,
Hmm.
oh, we seen what you did. So I'm like, okay, then I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But by the same token, another elder told me, oh, that's not right. So I had to change my mindset.
Yeah.
I had to
Mhm.
change my mindset. It can be done. Um, it's going to be hard
Hmm.
because it's been years.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times we go in a skate ring and we'll see some elders and don't even speak?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
simple thing.
Yeah.
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 That's a
Yeah.
real simple thing. And then being in a skating ring and knowing your equals there,
Hmm.
it's like I said, this names Breeze,
Hmm.
um, even T Stacks, Brandon, just a few names
Yeah.
that I've had conversations with. And sometimes that's all they take. They might take the advice, they might not.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put it out there. Just putting it out there and putting that seed,
Hmm.
in the mind, it happens. It
Right.
can happen.
Right.
It's not, you know, change don't happen overnight for some people.
No.
No, it
No.
doesn't.
No.
Things
Mm-mm.
take time sometimes. I mean, just like the dynamics we're going through now
Mhm.
within the community. I
Mhm.
Right.
seen it coming. The rinks are
Yeah.
closing, and the
Mhm.
rinks are closing because it's all about property. It's all about property, square footage of property.
Hmm.
So if my rink is open 7 days, well, 6 days a week. I'm not garnering all that much money, but I could get $1 million, $2 million for this property I'm sitting on.
Mhm.
I mean, you think about it. Who wouldn't? I mean,
Yeah.
who
Right,
wouldn't?
Yeah.
You
right.
know, unless the
Especially,
Yeah.
person that's committed
especially,
to the art.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially in today's economy.
Yeah. And we
You know.
Yeah,
say this all the
So
time to
yeah,
the skaters that, your 50 people who come on adult night does not keep this
rink open.
rink open
Hmm.
financially.
mm-mm,
You have to support them in more than just that endeavor.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I mean, it's crazy
mm, and
that, and then we complain about the $10. That's
Hmm.
another thing. You like, oh, it's $10 to skate, and you think there's only 50 of you, and everything that has to be paid just for you to have this experience
Hmm.
tonight, and you're
Hmm.
complaining.
Yeah, yeah. Not just the physical stuff, but
Yeah,
stuff on the back end.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah,
because they have
definitely,
taxes, they got
yeah,
things they have to do, and then at the same token, they still have to maintain their family.
yeah.
So there's a
exactly.
lot that goes on with it. So,
So
but
yeah,
this
when
is
somebody
why.
comes and says,
Mm,
"Hey, I'll give you $2 million for this property," it's an easy sell.
yeah, it's an easy sale. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm,
okay, all right, and
yeah, I
and
don't
that
have no more headaches.
Right.
right, right, exactly. And as skaters, we need to understand that. That's
Yeah.
why it's important for us to go out and
Yeah.
support our rinks. We were speaking with Ginger
Mm,
not too long ago,
Yeah.
and it, one of the things that was mentioned is that it doesn't take a lot to say to go up to them and
Mhm.
tell them thank you,
Yeah.
and it has a major impact on them.
Yeah.
It's
yes,
it's
I
stuff
mean,
that
yeah.
simple.
Anybody you tell thank you to, I mean, it's going to have an impact, and this
Yep.
this shows some appreciation.
Hmm.
But by the same token,
Hmm.
I got to tell the truth. Some of these rank owners and some of these managers are
Yeah.
shiesty as hell.
That is
They
Yes,
really,
that
that's the
really.
other part of the
yes,
sword.
that's the
I've
Yeah.
other.
seen the nonsense
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
that
they
is true.
perpetrate on our people that
Yes.
That
have a
is
party
true.
and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of our own people.
Hmm.
That's
Yes.
the, I'm just gonna keep it 100. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because I witnessed it firsthand.
Oh yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
I witnessed it firsthand, and it's
But the thing is, you still, and the sad part is, you still want to support them because it's more than just them. You're supporting the culture,
Right.
but you don't
true,
feel like you have to be subjected to their ignorance just
Hmm.
for you
right?
to support. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing a
Mm,
favor not for you, it's for the culture. I'm coming
Hmm.
here, not, this $10 I know is not making or breaking you, but I'm doing this for the culture. Like we come here to get together and skate and build something to for the youth and just various reasons.
Right.
But why do we have to be subjected to that foolery
Hmm.
when we're here
mm,
voluntarily?
Right. Right. Right.
right, 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 right.
So,
That's a
mm,
definitely good. That's a definitely good point.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to get in, and it's totally off topic, but I got to
uh-huh.
slide it in there real quick.
Okay.
Is that you know just outside skating? I
Mm-hmm.
said I pass the love on to everybody. Um, Central Park, Venice Beach, Mission Beach, a few other little places around the country. Um, Skaters need to experience that.
They
Yeah.
My
do.
brother,
Yeah.
Yeah.
before he passed, he told me, he said, "Man, you need to, to really know the love and the feeling of this thing." He said the experience you have to have is Empire Skating Ring,
Hmm.
Central Park, and Venice Beach.
Hmm.
And I was fortunate enough to do all of it, and I mean, it's a change.
Yeah.
It was a total change for me because you see the love, especially outside. You got
Yes, you
total
do.
autonomy. It's this
Hmm.
freedom.
Hmm.
It's not all right. We got the JB set. We got open house. No, you out there and it's you, music, and it's like nobody else. I mean, people got to experience that freedom. They really do.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
really do. And then they try to shut them down too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They
Yeah.
Yeah.
try to shut
Yeah, we
Yeah.
the
just
park
we
down.
just watched the movie Roller Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they try to shut the Venice Beast down, and it's like they put up a fight.
Hmm.
They put up
Mhm.
a fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of factors into the art that we do.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I told Premier, I don't call it skating. I call it an art.
Hmm.
Yes.
I feel that all of us are
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when you approach it like that, some people it might change some people's attitude.
Yeah.
People say,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, it's not that serious." But if you're going out there to enjoy yourself, to sweat, things of that nature, it is that serious.
Yeah.
It
It
is
is
Yeah.
that serious
very
because you
serious. It's
develop,
for life.
you develop, you develop in ways, in your mind, to
Yeah.
expel some
That's
Yeah.
why I
activity.
actually like speaking with some of the older ones in the
Yeah.
community because you guys pass along history,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
history is very good because sometimes you have to know where you came from in order to know where you need to go.
And how to get
And
there.
Right.
right, exactly, and how to get there. So it's good to know and talk to some of the older ones that have been around for a while so you can get an understanding of what the things that they had to go through,
Mhm.
in
Right.
order to keep the culture going. Some of the
Right.
things they've experienced so you can get a greater appreciation for the art, you
Right.
know,
Right.
Right.
because even if you
I mean,
study some of these
and
artists now, they study the artists from back then,
Mhm.
and that
Mhm.
mhm.
helps them in moving forward.
Well, I mean, if you go, I got to go back. To some of my stuff. You go back to hip hop
Hmm.
and you listen to some of those older records, and you listen to where they got their beats, their
Hmm.
samples, and things of that nature. And
Hmm.
I mean, even at some of the days music, even with like some of the JB music,
Hmm.
I listen sometime. Yo, that's the stylistics.
Mhm.
Right,
Damn,
right, yeah,
that's
yeah.
James Brown, that's Marvin Gaye,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and you just slid that in there. So
Yeah.
there's room for change,
Hmm.
but and God bless the brothers in Chicago and the sisters, man. They be working on some stuff. I,
Yeah,
I
they
got
do.
you
Yeah,
see
they
I'm
do.
spreading the wealth. I mean, I
Yeah.
listen to some of their music. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, what is you on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they pulling stuff and even back in old hip hop,
Mhm.
pulling stuff. They pulling and it's like, and I still listen to it because I'm like, where that beat come from? Wait a minute. I know
Yeah.
that record bang,
Mhm.
and then it hits me. So you can't escape the history. I mean, as much as you want to, you can't
Right.
escape the history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta reach back
Yeah.
at some point for it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And the thing about it, we gotta be willing to offer it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I can understand with some of the older, the senior skaters. Like, I don't like his attitude. Some of them, it's a bunch of nuances, man.
Yeah.
Attitudes, not
Yeah.
being receptive, and this, that, and the other. And
Mhm.
it all comes down to humility.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
comes
It
down to
does.
humility. I mean,
It does.
with the group of guys that I talked with, years ago, you know, even though, they looked up to me and things of that nature, I wasn't forcing anything on them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of things that I have done that, I mean, I look at it as being irrelevant to
Mhm.
today. But then again, it is, so you'll know what you're going to get ready to run into. I
Mhm.
mean, at, at one point, we did a parade in Philly, um, and I think the president was here. Man, just before we about to go on, I'm just arguing with the guys in the group. We going back and forth in the hot sun. It's like 90 degrees. Man, so and so, you so and so and so
Mhm.
and so and so and so, and we get in front of the camera. All that was out the window. It
Mhm.
was totally
Right.
out the window.
You
It's,
remember what you were there
I mean,
for.
Yeah.
yeah, and so, even with that, some other skaters had seen us, that was in the area to come watch us, and just giving them information,
Mhm.
because they appreciated what we did and things of that nature, and just giving them information. So it's everybody gotta be open and receptive. You
Right.
have
Yeah.
to, because
Right.
if you're not, it's just not gonna work. And that's the
No.
chaos we have now. Everybody
Right.
gotta be open and
Right.
receptive. And the
Mhm.
Yeah.
other thing we notorious for is like we leave meetings and then it's like leave it all on the table. Don't leave out and like, oh, I don't like that MF.
Right.
Mhm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What you come for? What you come to
Right.
meeting for?
Yeah.
Just to see what you had to say.
Yeah.
There
Exactly.
wasn't really,
Exactly.
there was no, they didn't walk in the meeting thinking of the
They can't be
resolve.
newsy.
Yes. It was just that point. Just instead of thinking of how this I can take this information and make my community better or other communities better, it was just like, oh, let me just see what they have to say and dismissive. Um, but I
Hmm.
think we do have to, if we want to continue to push the culture forward, we do have to unite some kind of way,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
else it's going to be fractured.
Right.
It's going to
Right.
continue to be fractured.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's end on that note. But I'm gonna what do you think it's going to take in order to help the culture come together?
Um, it's going to take humility on everybody's part.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to be humble. Everybody wants to be seen, and everybody wants to be a superstar. And the thing about it is when you adopt that attitude,
Hmm.
you know, nobody wins. Nobody really wins.
Yeah.
Nobody really wins. So it's going to take us, some of the older generation to, swallow the pride, have a conversation,
Hmm.
and at least the information was put out there.
Yeah.
You can't blame me now. Now, you can't blame me if I gave you the information.
Right.
Is
Hmm.
what you're going to do with it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right.
It's exactly what you're going to do with it. I gave you the information. Now what?
Right.
I mean, it's skaters now. that, excuse me. They'll, they'll call me up. They have some things happening. I give them advice.
Hmm.
It's working for a number of them. And the thing about it, I don't need to publicize it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
number of them out here that's doing a lot of things, and I just don't. I don't need to speak on it. I'll
Well,
let them
because it
speak
came
on it.
from your heart. It wasn't to be recognized. It was
Exactly.
be. It was
Did
from
you
your
see? You
heart.
just said the key word. Came from the
Yeah.
heart.
Mhm.
Came from the heart. Like I said, everybody wants to be seen. I give you an example. I give you a real good example. Let's see. During the time when you had, I'm gonna go over to the Jamscape community. You had Breakscape, you had Team Rydell, and you had all these people and this, that, and the other, and that's all good. So now you flip it back on our side, and you hand pick people. But before that, you had groups.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Now you hand picking.
Right.
That's our history.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You hand pick some of us and leave the rest of us by the wayside.
Mhm.
Mm.
No, we gotta
Hmm.
adopt the attitude. You're gonna take
Yeah.
one, you're gonna take all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're
Pull
gonna take one,
people
you're
with
gonna take
you.
all. If you're gonna sign me, I got a couple of guys behind me. You need to think about signing them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I love this. I love this young man. He put this acronym Uncle on me. B1.
Mhm.
He practiced that to this day. To this day, because I gave him that
To
information.
this day.
I'm telling you, to this day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a story about the documentary came out about a year ago. I'll let him tell you about it.
Hmm.
But it
Mhm.
was like took that attitude.
Mhm.
It's you're not gonna just take me. You're gonna take all of us.
Mhm.
Right.
Because what happens is that when you take that group, it's I'm a big fan of Friends of Public Enemy, and Chuck always said, he said this on the record. Never, he said, always move as a team, never move alone.
Right.
Mm. Yeah.
And when you take what he said and you look at the longevity of that group, 35 years, the only consistent rap group that's been out 35 years,
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's a dynamic with that.
Mm.
There's a dynamic with that. So
Wow.
it's going to take that group mentality,
Mhm.
because when you do the individual thing, you just become what it is, an individual,
Right. Exactly.
and not
Exactly.
making too much noise. I was fortunate to reach back, to the guys that I knew and just bring them along for the ride.
Mhm.
And to this day, some of them thank me and things of that nature, and then it's just the friendship.
Mhm.
And that's what it should be about. It's still people that I've talked to over the years that give me a tremendous amount of respect, and I give them the same.
Mhm.
And hopefully it passes to the next person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's countless people that I appreciate, on Facebook that hit me up, and people that I see, when and doing my travels.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change. It just doesn't change. I mean, I might forget your name, but I'll never forget the experience.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember I was
yeah.
in Skate-a-thon, and a sister was like, "Ice, I like that move. Can you?" I'm like, oh, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Mhm.
go. See, most people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to show you." No, let's go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, right now. Let's go. She see me a few years later. She goes like this here. Hey, you don't remember me? You don't remember me, do you? Oh yeah. She
Mm-hmm.
like, stop playing. I said, listen, I can't remember your name, but I mean, remember the experience. It was skating time, 2007. You was in the middle of you had pink on.
That's how it is too. I may not remember
and
your
that's
name.
But that
and that's what it's got to
experience.
take.
Yeah.
That's what it's got to take. That's what it's got to take.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I've learned so much from people in Detroit and
Mm-hmm.
New York and North Jersey. Um, Detroit, I gotta shout Detroit out. I mean, I wanted to learn this slide. I said, I gotta learn that. That is the hottest thing I ever seen on skates. I done bust my head open. I done slid
Ooh.
in the wall. I done
Wow.
cracked knees. You know what I
You
mean?
wanted to learn that.
Yeah.
But I done flipped over walls. But I mean, Reggie Gunn, Richard, Antonio, all them guys, they was just so open. And if you don't have that humility, you won't get that openness from them people.
Mhm.
And Detroit hard. Detroit hard, man. And
Mhm.
so is Chicago. But if you don't have that openness, they're not gonna open up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what's gotta happen. That's what's gotta happen. I gotta give it to Detroit, man. I really do. And New York and North Jersey. I mean, we came from Philly. We went up there. They welcomed us with open arms. For
Wow.
years. We talking since '79. You know, they've always opened up, and I mean, a lot of other places around the country, but those two, stand out to me. And California, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but that's what it's going to take. You have to
Yeah.
have some openness about you, or it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Okay.
This these idle little conversations and backbiting and all of these little back and forth on Facebook and things
Mm-hmm.
of that. I've
Yeah.
never seen no nonsense like that in my life. When
Yeah, it looks
the
bad for the
guys I
culture
came
too.
up
It's
with,
yeah.
Yeah.
the guys I came up with, like Reggie Gunn, Reggie Premier, D Breeze, we never did this.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Never.
And I
We laid
think,
it on
and
the floor.
I read one of your favorite quotes, and now the more you talk, it just solidifies like your deep belief in what you what you stand by. Because one of the
Definitely.
quotes that you said was, "I'd rather have an enemy who admits they hate me than to keep a friend whose mission is to put me down secretly."
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. There
Yep.
you go. There you go.
But
So so real
go ahead.
quick,
I'm sorry, bro.
yeah, because we're actually run out of time here. How can the skaters get in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook and that's it. I don't do Instagram. I don't do Tumblr. I don't do none.
There
I
you
had
go.
to,
Ice from Philly.
That's simple. That's real
no,
simple.
I have to limit the access
Mm-hmm.
to eliminate the nonsense,
Hey.
Mm.
so to speak.
Yeah. Wow. That's
And
deep.
people that know me well, I'll get on there and I'll get off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll get off. But Facebook, I pop on and off of there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy access to
Yeah.
me. I mean, other people know me, you know what I mean, and know how to get in touch with me. And that's about it. I
Well, y'all
can't do
can see
those.
him on YouTube. There's a YouTube that you did at Venice Beach from 2009, Skateaholics. You did it.
Ah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
did two YouTubes. You was out there doing that footwork.
I forgot. You know what?
It's out there.
I
We gonna
forgot.
post it.
My agent, he put all this stuff on one page, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
man, you got to do all that. And
Yeah.
and believe it or not, it's so much footage that I have,
Hmm.
and out of respect for the two members that passed, I refuse to air any of it,
Hmm.
unless I got their children's permission, which I have. So it's just about timing with everything. So I
Right.
don't put anything out. A number of members been like, man, I used to put up some of them videos and this,
Right.
that, and the other. And maybe it's time for people to
Mhm.
see the group thing.
Yeah.
To see the group
Yeah.
thing from performances and things of that
Yeah.
nature. And there's one other thing. There's a difference between skating, showing off, and performing.
Yeah.
Hey, there you
There
go.
Yeah.
is a difference.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
have it. There you have it.
The man has said it.
There
Because
you
that's
have it.
one thing Dee Breeze had said to us that he wish he had more pictures and video of
Mhm.
himself back in his younger day.
Yeah.
So now, with the cell phones, people can record themselves. So when they're 50 and 60, they'll be able to have that footage to show their kids or other people. But it's
Mm-hmm.
good that, your agent did put some of this stuff together because now you have it on film where you have the luxury to show other people and other people can see you and
Right.
just Google
Mm-hmm.
and you'll find them.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Well, I mean, like I said, I have probably maybe 400 to 500 hours of footage
mhm.
of the group from 87 all the way up to 2012. I mean, some of the things, you go to events, hey, hey, grab this camera. The
Right.
camera all in the air. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I mean, but we were fortunate enough to get some of that. One of the members of the group was like, he thanked me because at the time, back then, we had the little Polaroid cameras with,
Right.
in a cardboard box. The
Yes.
little
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
So I used
Mm-hmm.
to carry
Mm-hmm.
them around. I used to carry cameras around. So fortunately, we thinking at that time, I archived a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the pictures, with some of the stars we've been with and things of that nature, and this overseas trips and things of that nature. So I did archive. I was smart enough back then, even though I was young and
Mhm.
this all over the place. I was smart enough to archive a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
So at some point, I'll put it
Yeah.
out there.
We'll be waiting and we'll be happy to post whatever you have that you want to
Most
share with the
definitely.
community.
Most definitely. Most
So
definitely.
Skate Fam, you've heard it here. The
Mhm.
man, the myth, the legend, Ice from Philly.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes,
listen,
indeed.
listen. I want to thank both of you, for the time,
Oh, no problem.
and also, for the acknowledgement. And that's it. I mean, I
Mhm.
really appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
As
this,
we appreciate you.
Yeah,
thank you,
definitely.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely for
I
taking
really do.
time out to
Yeah.
speak with us, because we know some people have a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah.
right now with
Mhm.
everything that's happening. So, but like I said earlier, we really like speaking to those who have been in the skating community for a long time,
Mhm.
even the newer ones too, So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is
Everybody has a story.
yeah, everybody has a
Yeah.
story,
Yes.
and this is a
Yep.
way for everyone to tell their story, so we can keep pushing the community forward. Because this is
Yeah.
definitely what we need to do. We need to keep pushing the community forward. So, so with that, we greatly appreciate you,
Thank you
speaking with us.
to our listeners for staying with
Well,
us.
Hmm. Yeah.
well, let me thank you again. And
Okay.
this goes out to all the artists, young, old, and seasoned, and experienced, and professional, whatever. The love is there. Keep the love in your heart. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm not just saying that. And also the DJs. The DJs have done a phenomenal job.
Yes, indeed.
Phenomenal job
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
for what we do. We got a vast community. We got people that t-shirts. We making our own skates. We making our own headbands.
Hmm.
Man, we
We
we just
doing it.
got a package.
Yep.
We
Yep.
got
We're
a
doing
pack.
it.
Yep.
We got a package. We got a package that we could take on tour
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
forever
Hmm.
because we got young people coming behind. If we just get that mindset together and package this thing the right way,
That's the
man,
golden
we
word.
won't, we
Togetherness.
will never lose this.
Never will.
Togetherness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Never will.
Yep.
Never will. So,
Okay, Skate Fam. So
so yep, Skate fan, we appreciate y'all tuning in, and
yes.
those of you who are viewing the video, because we are actually recording the video at the same time,
Yeah.
which actually will be on the app. So again, if you know someone who has not had the app, make sure they go ahead and download the app. It is on the Google Play and on Apple iTunes. That is Skaters Connect. All right, SK8RZKONNECT. And until next time, we
We
will
will
see
see
you
you
on the
on the
wood.
wood.